I have the A7 amendment.
Senator Carlson offers the A7 amendment. The Secretary will report the amendment.
Senator Carlson moves to amend Senate House File number 1952 as amended pursuant to Rule 45 as follows. Page 94, delete Section 6. This is the A7 amendment.
To the A7, Senator Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. President. These days, our privacy is being invaded a lot. And I think what we do is we find out that people are getting to know us better than we know ourselves. And one of the things that is very concerning is that when people know about us, they know our address, they know more and more about us, there's some infractions on our personal privacy and sometimes even on our financial privacy. I, for one, about 3 weeks ago, had my identity stolen. My credit records are now frozen for a year, and I don't think I've had any losses that can be taken from my financial abilities, but I got the notice from Chase Bank that said that, first they said, we're not going to open up an account that you requested, and then they sent me a debit card, which I didn't request, and I don't have any kind of records with Chase Bank. So it took quite a while to be able to clear that up. I also get a lot of emails from people that I have no idea who they are and what they want, except that usually, and I always tell this a little bit of a funny because I like to be known as Jim. My family knows me as Jimmy. And when anybody calls me James, it means they want money. So I get a lot of these emails, and I think anybody here can identify with it. You're getting emails and you're getting solicitations from people that you have never even known, never contributed to anyone close to them, and for some reason they have gotten your name, and it's a bipartisan issue, by the way, too. Well, we last week passed a bill that I supported, and that was to keep the people who win lottery winnings, win cash, to keep their names private because they get harassed a lot. And I think that that is something that we have leaned into a lot by allowing our names and our records being out there. And so the A7 amendment is to try to look at some of that and really cut back on it. I have a constituent who is a very strong Republican who has been writing me over many years, and sometimes we agree, sometimes we do not. But one of the things he had heard about is this bill that is going to allow election judge names to be publicized. And he said, I volunteered to be an election judge a few years ago, and I was harassed because I let my name be used by my party. So and this is, again, it's a bipartisan issue. He does not like his name to be out there, and a lot of people don't like their names to be out there, even affiliated with a party, and maybe sometimes affiliated wrongly. And so what the A7 amendment does is it walks back this bill's release of election judge names and does not let them be inspected by the public. I don't mind that the parties know them because they're the ones that nominated them. The Secretary of State keeps those names private. But what this bill does is it puts them out there for anybody to inspect and, in fact, anybody to harass as well. And the next part of this same amendment is to keep the names of the challenged voters private as well. This one's a little bit more serious because if my voter registration card was returned erroneously, if I had something where that changed, where someone actually calls me out as far as not being in the right apartment number, and I know that there are errors in our election records that sometimes are very innocent, but people don't, they don't get caught until someday when someone actually does see that you live at 1632 instead of 1623, which has happened, and they get on a challenged voter list. And this is where we go back to our same-day registration. Those kinds of things can be cleared up, same-day registration, no problem, no provisional ballot, none of that, and they do not get put onto a challenged voter list. And in this bill, that challenged voter list is impossible to get off of, and it is reported back so that people can take a look at those people who are on that challenged voter list, how they were cleared, why they were on there, lots of personal information. And Mr. President, this amendment eliminates that and changes it to be private, keeps it private and the way it is today. So thank you, Mr. President.